What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So, shocking news, right? As newly crowned junior welterweight world champion, star boxer, on the verge of being a superstar, who is the IBF 140-pound champion, undefeated, Richardson Africa Hitchins. 19 wins, no losses, no draws, 7 wins by way of knockout, 27 years of age, 5'10" with a 74-inch arm reach. Richardson Hitchins, shockingly, goes at newly crowned WBO lightweight world champion, superstar boxer, Keyshawn the businessman Davis. Now, I know some people going to say, why is Keyshawn Davis considered a superstar and Richardson Hitchins is just considered a star? Well, because Keyshawn Davis is a bigger attraction. Keyshawn Davis sold 10,000 seats and did $1 million gate in his hometown, Norfolk, Virginia. And I'm almost certain that he's going to do the same numbers, if not more, this time around. Now, the venue that they fight at only holds 10,000 seats, so it won't exceed that. But the ticket price is going to go up, and the gate is going to be bigger. Keyshawn Davis is 13 wins, no loss, no draw, 9 wins by way of knockout, 26 years of age, 5'9" with a 70-inch arm reach. Keyshawn Davis beat Dennis Baranchik in his last fight for the WBO title. He knocked him out in the 4th round. And prior to that, he beat Gustavo Lemos, who Richardson Hitchins fought and arguably lost to. And now, June 7th, he's going to fight Edwin De Los Santos, Dominican star lightweight title contender, who is highly avoided. Now, Richardson Hitchins shockingly makes a statement that Keyshawn Davis, he doesn't view him as a real champion because Keyshawn Davis has been properly match made by Top Rank, and that essentially gave him advantage. They carefully chose his opponents. So he stated that it's a case of him being essentially manufactured because of Top Rank great matchmaking. And I have to push back. The reason I have to push back is because the level of opponents that they have faced is very similar. And I actually think that Keyshawn Davis at this stage has beaten better opposition. They face the same guy. They have a common opponent, Gustavo Lemos, who was 29 wins at the time, no losses, no draws, 19 wins by way of knockout when he fought Richardson Hitchins, right? And he arguably beat Richardson Hitchins. Now, Richardson Hitchins got a unanimous decision, and I'm a big supporter of Richardson Hitchins because he's New York born through and through, right? But he's wrong when he says this. So he says that Keyshawn Davis essentially is manufactured, and he's wrong. So Gustavo Lemos, right, who he arguably beat Richardson Hitchins, that fight. I actually thought Gustavo Lemos won, and this is no disrespect or slight to Richardson Hitchins, right? He said he was weight drained. He didn't make any adjustments. He had things going on, behind the scenes that was an issue. So that's why he didn't perform to the level of expectations. Cool, and I'm all for that. But the fact remains is that you didn't perform. That's just the truth of the matter, right? We can speculate why you didn't perform to the level of your skill set and expectations, but the fact is you didn't do it. So you arguably lost. Now, people will say that Keyshawn Davis fought he fought Gustavo Lemos after Richardson Hitchins. And people will say, well, Keyshawn Davis beat a weight drain Gustavo Lemos. And wrong. We all know Gustavo Lemos didn't even attempt to make the weight. He came in at like 5 pounds or 6 pounds overweight, 7 pounds overweight or something of that magnitude. He rehydrated fully, right? He didn't attempt to make 135 pounds. He didn't even attempt it. Okay? He missed weight by like 6 point something pounds, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Which is essentially, that's more than the actual the junior welterweight limit of 140. Okay? He came in at like 141.2 or something like that. So that's the same thing as coming in at 140 pounds. Actually, you have to come in at 140 or below. He came in, if he fought Richardson Hitchins, he would have actually missed weight for that fight at 140. Because he still was over the weight. So when people say, well, he was weight drained, no, he was the same weight. And he didn't take punishment against Richardson Hitchins. Again, he arguably beat Richardson Hitchins. I thought he won that fight against Richardson Hitchins. Keyshawn Davis fought the guy as a smaller guy than Richardson Hitchins, much smaller. And guess what he did? He blew Gustavo Lemos out the water. In 2 rounds, he dropped him 3 times and knocked him out. He blew him out the water. Blew him out the water. In 2 rounds, he knocked him out. So he left no doubt. And then in his next fight, he fought Dennis Baranchik. Dennis Baranchik upset the future Hall of Famer, Mexican superstar boxer, Emmanuel Navarrete. He was the underdog in that fight. And he beat Emmanuel Navarrete as the underdog, right? So he beat Emmanuel Navarrete. Okay? Keyshawn Davis beat Liam Paro. Now, Liam Paro had upset Subriel Matias, right? To become the IBF champion. Dennis Baranchik was undefeated and upset Emmanuel Navarrete. Emmanuel Navarrete is a first ballot Hall of Famer still in his prime. Subriel Matias was just considered the boogeyman and a hard puncher. There's a difference. So when you look at it, Dennis Baranchik has the better win over Emmanuel Navarrete as the underdog than Liam Paro as the underdog against Subriel Matias. And guess what? You outboxed Liam Paro, and Keyshawn Davis knocked out Dennis Baranchik in 4 rounds. Dropped him twice and then knocked him out in the fourth round. So in his 2 biggest fights, he hasn't went past the 4th round. In your 2 biggest fights, you went 24 rounds. And one guy is a common opponent in Gustavo Lemos. So here's the thing, right? I think that Keyshawn's trajectory is higher than Richardson Hitchins right now. Now, Richardson Hitchins, now get this, Richardson Hitchins is going to fight George Kambosos, former unified champion. But George Kambosos has not looked good in his last 3 fights, okay? He just simply has not. He got stopped by Vasyl Lomachenko, okay? He got stopped by Vasyl Lomachenko. And then George Kambosos, keep in mind, he got dominated by Devin Haney twice. He got stopped by Vasyl Lomachenko, right? And again, in his last 2 fights, well, in his last fight against Jack Wiley, he looked okay. But against Maxie Hughes, I thought he lost. So he arguably lost to Maxie Hughes. He got stopped by Vasyl Lomachenko, And then he fought Jake Wiley and he won a unanimous decision, but he didn't look great. He didn't look great. Now, Keyshawn Davis is getting ready to fight Edwin De Los Santos, who made Shakur Stevenson have his worst performance of his career in his last fight. So, who's the more dangerous opponent? Edwin De Los Santos or George Kambosos? We got to make it make sense. So, I mean, we can't allow these narratives to be pushed, man, because what it does is it actually hurts the sport of boxing. It hurts the sport of boxing. So with that said, we got to take into consideration Keyshawn Davis has a better resume than Richardson Hitchins right now as it stands. He just does. He just does. Is he a better fighter? We have to see it. But right now, Keyshawn has the better resume, and his trajectory is higher. So let's see how it all unfolds and plays out, man. But that's all I got for y'all. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.